Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since we posted any video. Oh, there's the garbage man. Listen. Oh, yes. Let's start a video and then have some, the train go by or some planes fly over or the trumpets blowing from the base nearby. It never fails when I go to shoot a video. There's always something, some sort of noise pollution that we have to experience. But anyway, so we're back doing what we have here behind me. This homeowner here on this house, he had some dry rot. This is a house that's for sale. It's on the market. And they're repairing some dry rot here. And actually, they've got it repaired. The contractor did a really nice job of leaving us some wire to tie into here. He's got plenty of wire for us to tie into. There's paper up underneath here that we can counter flash under. Counter flash behind this paper in here. And get this watertight here. And as you can see, all the wire that we have to work with here. And this is concrete. You can see the mud sill here, and this is concrete. We want to run our paper down underneath that piece of wood right there, that piece of redwood that there is pressure treated lumber. It's not too critical. You could see this is the same piece of lumber here, which is going to get wet anyway. So if this gets wet, it's not the end of the world. But we ideally we want to run our paper down as far as we can past this mud sill here to keep this dry. So I've got over here, I've got a hammer ready to kind of pull this out a little bit here in case it's hard to get my paper up underneath there. I've got a hammer here that can kind of pry this back a little bit, you know, and slip some paper up underneath there. Okay. Okay, everyone, JR's back. So JR's got the, here's JR over here, see? Are you getting dizzy yet? Because I am. Here's JR. JR has already got the wire on for us. You see how he's already got the ripper? He put a ripper all the way through here. He's got it nailed off real well. And so the next step is while JR is getting a mix going, I'm going to get the weldcrete. I'm going to weldcrete the top and the bottom of this. Put some weldcrete on the top and the bottom. I'm going to take a little broom and I'm going to dust off this little excess stuff we got down there on the bottom. Clean that up and get a good bond. Okay guys, I got my brush here, my 2-inch brush, and I'm getting ready to brush the weldcrete on the wall here. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of times I won't use weldcrete because the hot stuff has enough bonding agents in it that you really don't need to use the weldcrete, but it's a good practice to get into anyway. So what we're using here is the Larson's weldcrete. It's blue, and you just brush it on. Just brush this on the existing stucco, and you can find this at the your local masonry store. Probably has some weldcrete, and if they don't have it, you can use the white glue. If you can't find the Larson's weldcrete, here's the Larson's weldcrete. Larson's weldcrete. We've been using this ever since I've been into the trade. It's one of the best products we have in the trade, because if you get this stuff like on your boots or on the concrete, it's not coming off. This stuff is there to stay. It's weird how this works too. You know, it's a chemical reaction, because it's a chemical reaction between the stucco and the weldcrete. Because you can leave this stuff on here for 2 weeks. Up to 2 weeks is what they say. You can leave this stuff on here for 2 weeks and then apply your stucco, and it sticks really well. Like, we'll do that like sometimes on refinishes. When we refinish whole houses, we use weldcrete. Now, that it does have some disadvantages to this weldcrete. If you use this like on a refinish, what happens is the material shrinks and you'll get these little tiny spiderweb cracks in it. And that's why when we do a refinish, most of the time we'll do a skip trowel texture, really tiny texture, and that will conceal a lot of the spiderweb cracks that you'll see in the finish coat. Like if you try to do a smooth finish using this weldcrete here, it's not good. You'll see all the little tiny spiderweb cracks in it. So, you know, there are some pros and cons to using this material. And the biggest pro is that your material is not going to fall off. Quikrete bonding additive. That's what you want to put in the mix. And just read the instructions on the container. It'll tell you how much to put in. Quikrete bonding adhesive. That's what you want to put in your mud to give yourself insurance that the stucco is not going to come off the wall, even when you're using weldcrete. We do that a lot of times when we're doing a refinish. We use the bonding additive as well. And here you can see I broke out the big guns. And, you know, in case I come up here onto the existing stucco a little bit higher here. I'm gonna want to make sure I've got some good coverage. So this is just another method of providing myself insurance that the stucco is not going to come off the wall. But and you know, a lot of you guys out there believe in the weldcrete, so I'm doing kind of a demonstration here as to how I would do it if I really am concerned about the stucco not sticking. Okay, so you really want to get on a good layer of weldcrete. You know, come up about 5 or 6 inches, maybe even a little bit more, because it's going to get painted anyway. You know, so it's not going to hurt to come up a little bit further up into the field. And I also want to show you the material that we're using today to do this. I'll show you here in a minute. Let me get this all covered up here. Okay. So let me show you the kind of material we're using today. We're using our favorite recipe. CJR's got the blue and white blue and white base coat there with the rapid set mortar mix. High strength structural repair mortar. This is the professional grade hydraulic cement product. Just add water. And so what we do is we mix up the cold material first, and after he's got about a good half bucket of material mixed up, we add a little bit more water, and then we put in the mortar mix, and that's going to make it go off fast so that we can have progress here. All right, so all he has to do now is just add the mortar mix. Okay guys, here we go. I got my hawk, I got my trowel, I got my scoop, and I've got the mud that JR mixed up for me. I have some plastic laid down on the ground to make the cleanup a little bit easier. So I'm getting ready to put the first coat on, and then we're gonna double up on it. As soon as I get to the end, it's about 18 feet. We're gonna I'll put on about 18 feet of mud, one coat, and then we're gonna drop back and put the second coat on and go from there. So here we go. Okay guys, JR's got the mud mixed up really good. I tell you what, he mixes some good mud. This guy here, this is good mud. I can feel it starting to take up already. But it's still spreadable, very workable, very user friendly. Let me get a shot. Let me get a shot of that delicious mud, that edible mud. There. Okay, coming down.
We'll go finish mixing that.
Yeah, go mix that other one. I'll finish this. It's good to have somebody helping you that knows how to mix mud. JR's been mixing mud for me for 11 years. Maybe 12 now. So you probably see how I'm taking the mud off of the hawk like that, like that. You know that it takes about a year to be able to learn how to do that. You never stop learning in this trade. You never stop learning. You always learn something new, no matter how long you've been doing it. Just like anything else. You're always learning. But that technique, taking the mud off of the front of the hawk like that, takes a long time to learn how to do. Some guys, I remember some guys when I was first starting out, they used to tell me that they would have a guy just stand at the mud board and just do this and put the mud back on the board until he could be able to do that subconsciously without having to think about it. When you first start doing plastering, naturally we always take the mud off the back of the hawk like that. Okay, I burned one bucket already. Burned one bucket up already. I'm ready for that next bucket. Where's my hottie? Hottie, hottie, hottie! Where's my mud?
I just got done.
Let me go give him a hand. Aha! Something new has been added. I've got my eye protection on. I should have had that on earlier, but since I'm working down so low like this, it's not like it's gonna these little pieces of wire here are gonna flick me back in the eye. But my eye was kind of bothering me a little bit, so I thought, you know, I'm not wearing my eye protection. I should probably put it on for the camera. So that's what I'm doing. Usually, almost all the time, I'm wearing eye protection, especially in the summertime when it's hot. I've got my sunglasses on, and those sunglasses, they're actually safety glasses too, so they work well. When we do scratch coat like this, like we're doing today, these little pieces of wire here have a tendency to flick that mud right back in your face and get in your eye. So it's a good idea to wear eye protection. So I've got my mud, I've got my scoop right here, and I better get on this. So I already checked it out back there where I started, and it's starting to take up pretty good. So JR is already mixing up the next batch to start putting the second coat on. Then we'll see what happens after that. We're gonna see if I'm gonna go get some white finish, or if I'm gonna just texture this with this type of mud right here. I can do it with this mud, but sometimes I like to put on a white finish. You know, if I have it, I like to do that. Okay, about to button up the scratch coat. Notice I haven't put a scratcher on here. Okay, so you really don't have to scratch this. So I'm not going to put a scratch. You could scratch it if you want, but you're losing time. You're wasting time. Best thing to do is this mud's kicking back here. It's ready for that second coat, so you got to get on it. You don't want that first coat to get away from you, you know? You want it to be a little bit pliable still. You want to still be able to put your finger in it. I want you to notice something here. Look I just put this in. Look at how wet it is, okay? Let's go back here to the beginning. Let's see how wet this is. See? This is still wet here. This is still wet, okay? So, you know, it has a ways to go before it's going to be ready for a second coat. But I'm going to do it anyway. Now this down here, I can feel it. I can feel it taking up. You know, it's still wet, but it's a little bit stiffer than it was when I first put it on. So as soon as he comes back with that mud, we're going to try it, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. You see this mud right here, how it's starting to fall out of that up there, but over here it's okay, right? It's not falling out there, but right here it is. So that could be an issue right there. That could be an issue, and it's not going to be a big one either. It's just going to be a small issue. And we're going to take care of that. All right, here we go, guys. Still a little bit soft, but I'm going to go ahead and try it anyway. way you do it is just pack the mud on there like that, and then come back in a minute or two. Can you scrape that down and give that to me?
Well, this isn't a scoop, but it works in the pan.
All right.
Collecting the.
All right, yeah.
Take 4 clicks on this other one for you.
All right. Okay, there we go. Now, most of you guys out there are gonna have a problem. You're not gonna be able to do it like this. Okay, see where it's starting to fall out right there? But it's not gonna be a problem, okay? I'm just gonna go like that. I'm gonna leave it and I'm gonna come back in about 5 minutes. Just moving along here. Thing to do is to get the mud on. Get the mud on. Get it all on there. Get it all squared up, squared away. All right. If it's not perfectly flat, kind of do as best you can to get it flat. You don't want it to set up when it's still heavy. You don't want it to set up on you. You don't want to get away from it. You don't want it to get away from you. Okay? You want to stay on top of it. Now, this is just a small area. Still got a lot of wall to do over here. Come on, let's go over here. This is the piece we're going to do next. The devil's in the details, guys. You see this little transition right here? I'm going to sweeten that up. I'm going to sweeten that up a little bit. I'm going to make it so it's not so ugly.
Well, hold on for a minute. It's in the last bucket.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to need a full bucket or not.
Sounds good.
So hold on.
All right.
None of them will be as potent as your last one was.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. Devil is in the detail, guys. Huh? Yes. Devil's in the details. This little detail right here that I'm working on, that's going to be really nice in the end. Okay, so got a little bit of fallout right there, but I'm just going to put a little mud in there. So I'm going to let that take up for a little bit. Okay, so we're going to come back to that. All right, here we go. I got a football field in front of me. I got about 5 yards to do here. I got to start right here and go that way. So I got some good mud here. JR just mixed up. I got this much mud in the bucket right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Oh, this is really nice. This is really nice right now. You can see I can still put my finger in it, right? Okay, but it's not separating from the top at all. It's packed in there. You got to pack that up in there really good. Okay, and this is going to be a breeze right here. This is simple. Okay, and what it is, the key to all this is having the right mud. You know, And that guy out there mixes the best mud. Okay, that is key right there. Having good mud. He is a chef. Okay, but who do you think taught him? Huh? Me. I taught him how to mix good mud. All right, here we go. Stop blowing my horn now. Stop tooting my own horn. Look at that. Look at this. It's like butter, man. This is just like butter. Oh, he makes it so easy. Look at that. It's like, it's so creamy, you know? This is so, it's so nice. It's a dream. You know, when you got good mud, it's a dream. Okay? That is the key, to have good mud. Look at that. Oh man, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. Look at that. Done. Just needs to be floated, put a texture on it, paint it, and then you're done. Okay, watch this move right here. Look at this. I want you to see this right here. You see, I got a low spot right here. I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer. And I'm going to show you one of the advantages of being able to take the mud off of the front of your hawk and getting the mud just right, so that I can fill in this low spot right here. There's a low spot. When I look at it like that, there's a low spot. You see that low spot in there? Now I'm not going to be able to make it perfect to where it's square with. I'm not going to be able to make it perfect to where it's square with the edge of this vent. That vent is only 3/4 of an inch, and my mud is sticking out probably 1 1/4 inches. But I can get it a lot closer. One of the ways to do that is by being able to take the mud off the front of your hawk like that and getting it to rise on your trowel. Okay, rise on your trowel like that, and then turn your. See how I did that? I'll do it again. See that? Now I'm going to turn my trowel like this. Okay. Now the mud is closer to me. I'm going to put the trowel up against the wall, and the mud is already to the top of the trowel. Okay. Okay. Now I got it. It's rising. That mud is. There's an effervescence there. It's rising above the edge of the vent, and I'm going to take my trowel and kind of level that off like this. And I should probably come back in about 5 minutes, and I can cut this like that, and it won't fall out. All right, everyone, I've got all the mud on here, and it's probably sat here for about 5-10 minutes. I've kind of been cleaning up the edges around the vent and over there around the edge there, all the edges. I'm addressing the edges now. So what we do is, after it takes up to a point where you can cut off the fat on these edges here, take your trowel or a margin trowel and go around and cut off any excess mud. Okay, cut it off there like that. Okay, take this, cut it off like that. And we could take our trowel. We're going to take our trowel now and clean the trowel off. Start with a clean trowel. Now we're just going to kind of feather that in a little better. Okay. Feather that in best we could. Then, after that, we're slowly going to bring in this edge here with a brand new sponge float. Okay, we're going to feather that edge in as best we can. Okay. Okay, feather the top, feather the bottom, feather all your edges in. Clean up all your utilities. Okay. And then we're going to go back with our trowel again and go over that one more time. Okay. Now we're going to pay attention to the existing texture, and this base coat on here has kind of a coarse between a fine and a coarse base coat here. So that's going to be perfect for what we're going to do. We have a little bit of mud left over in our bucket from when we put the first 2 coats on, and I've been slowly adding water to that to keep it tempered. Just a little bit of water at a time to keep it loose. It still has some hot mud in there, so it wants to go off, but I don't want it to go off yet. I want this to take up first, and it's going to take up in the next 10-15 minutes. This is going to be ready to float and then texture, and then we're going to keep adding a little bit of water to our mud, and then we're going to use that mud to put texture on here, and then paint it like tomorrow or in a couple weeks. This house here is a real estate transaction, so in the real estate industry, you don't wait 2 weeks. It's got to be done now. The people are moving in, the money's in escrow, everybody wants to be paid. It's got to be done now. So I imagine somebody's going to be out here, maybe not tomorrow because they're calling for rain, but maybe Monday, Tuesday next week somebody might be able to get out here and paint this, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Okay guys, here's an update. So what I've been doing is I've got this floated pretty much. I floated the whole thing already. So what I did is I just take my green float, dip it in some water, and shake out most of the water. And then first I dial in the edges on the top and the bottom, on the sides. I do all the edges first because those are the ones that are going to dry up the fastest. And then I'll do the field. And when I do the field, I make sure that it's not going to fall out. What I'm focusing on is how grainy the existing is, and the window for graininess, there's a large window in this material, and what I mean by that is I can make it coarse by just, like right now it's really coarse. It has a coarse texture on it right now, and the more that it dries, I can knock down that coarseness and make it finer by pushing the grains of sand into the wet mud, what little wet mud is left. You don't want to wait until this gets too dry. You want to stay on top of it. Okay, so this is a little grainy here, so I'm floating it to where I can get it pretty close. This is nice right here. This is about pretty close to what I got going on here. Okay, I can see a little bit of edge from the existing patch right there, so I'm trying to fix that too. Now after that, I'm going to take my trowel again. I've already done this section back here. This is ready for texture. Okay, this is flat. It's got some chatter lines. There's some chatter lines in this. Chatter lines are little places where somebody put a trowel on the finish coat, and the trowel jumped over the sand and created a chatter mark. Okay, so I'm going to just go over what I've already floated here until I can get the base coat to match the base coat in this, and at the same time leaving a little bit of that graininess. And then we're going to wait a couple more minutes, and then when this is ready to receive the texture, and I'm still adding water a little bit at a time to what little mud we stir it up. Okay, no big deal. Okay, so, and that's going to happen. I'll probably be done with this in the next 20 minutes. I have to finish troweling this, maybe float a little bit more, and then it'll be ready. After it takes up, I got the sun on our side here. So but it is cool. It's still it's probably around, I'm going to say it's in the low 60s right now because it's December. So it's not going to take long with the sun on this wall for this to dry up, because we have hot mud mixed in to our cement. So this is getting ready to go off. Look at how far I've come already. And it's only been a couple of hours since we started. And look at how much I've got done. We have got done. We've got quite a bit done here. I mean, for two guys to have this knocked out in 3 or 4 hours is pretty good. Not bad. To be done, to be done with it. That's not bad. Okay, guys.
Behind the cab back there.
We're ready now. So I've loosened the mud down. You can see how loose I got it here.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at.
Oh yeah.
Look at how loose that mud is. That's our texture mud right there.
Perfect texture mud.
Perfect texture mud. So we're going to take it off the same way as I was earlier. We're going to take it off the front of the hawk like that. What you got to do is just throw your hawk up kind of perpendicular to the ground, and there you go. Okay, so this is what we do. Just kind of lay it on. You want to look at your texture up here. You want to try and match your texture. You don't want to do anything different than what's on the wall. Sometimes, okay, now I'm going to get over here, so I got to turn my trowel around like this. I was like this, okay. Now I'm going to turn my trowel around like that. Okay, and I'm going to scrape it. I'm scraping it on the wall is what I'm doing, just scraping it. Okay, then you stand back, kind of lean back. You kind of lean back, look at the wall, and make sure it all blends in. You know, you want to do whatever you got to do to make it look right. And if it doesn't match, you can scrape that mud off. You can scrape that off, okay, lay it down, and do it again. Okay? If you don't like what you see, you can do it again. I just did that for demonstration, okay? It's not that I didn't like what I saw. I just wanted you guys to know that if you see something you don't like from something you put on, you can scrape it off. It's not the end of the world. Okay? This texture up here has some open areas, so I don't want to get it too tight, okay? I don't want to get it too closed in. There's some open areas here, which is the texture too, okay? So that means I have to leave some open areas in the texture that I put on so that it looks right, okay? When you get up in here on the overlap here, you want to make sure that those aren't prominent pieces of stucco. That's going to dry up your fastest. It's got that dry mud on it, okay? You want to make sure you scrape off anything heavy on that joint. Okay. A nice blend right there. You want that feathered in. Okay. Same thing down here on the bottom. Okay. You got to scrape anything down right there, you know. Let's texture this now. Do a little piece here. I'll get over here. A little piece of grass. I want to get that grass out of there. Okay, so let me get on the other side of the camera. I'm going to texture this little piece right here. I'm liking that a lot, guys.
Yeah, I bet you there's a big old buckle right there. I had that there. That could be an addition too, though, kid.
What's that?
I think this might be an addition to the house.
Oh, definitely. Look at the texture on it.
Yeah, it's the same addition on it.
It's coming out nice.
Oh yeah, the contractor will be really happy. This is all fixed. It's lunchtime. Oh man, I got on the freeway. Don't have a GPS going yet, right?
Yeah.
I got right about Winners.
Yeah.
And I turned on the GPS and it said Interstate 80 Vacaville. Backed up traffic. Oh, huh?
Oh, yeah. There was an accident earlier.
Yeah. I usually watch the news before I drive down this way.
Uh-oh.
Well, at least I made it on time, though. At least I got here on time.
Yeah.
So I got a spot right over there where you can wash your bucket. So.
Okay. There you go, guys. It's time to clean up and get out of here, and I hope you learned something today. We certainly hope you learned something. We certainly enjoyed doing the film, and we'll see you on the next one. Till then. Okay, guys, we're done here. We got the texture on. We got our area all cleaned up, and it's time to rock and roll. Get out of here and get on to the next job. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial as much as we enjoyed making it. And on behalf of JR and myself, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.